Hey guys, and welcome to another GameXplain discussion. I'm your host, Andre Seegers, and this time we're joined by Tom Arnold and Derek Bittner to discuss our playtime with Mario Maker at E3 2014. So let's get started. Alright guys, so one of the games Nintendo announced, although we kind of knew about it going into it because of a leak, was Mario Maker, a game which allows you to create Mario levels in the style of the original Mario Brothers. And just, yeah, kind of go all out to these creations. Like, the tools they give you are very simple, but you can create some pretty cool things with them based on what we saw. And I think what we saw was just a small taste of what the final game is going to offer. But yeah, so let's go start off with your guys' impressions of what you thought. So Tom, what did you think of it?
Well, normally with a game that lets you edit levels, it takes a really long time to get into. It feels like you have to learn a lot, invest like many hours. In Mario Maker, I was able to make a level in the 10-minute E3 time limit, probably I'd say in about 7 or 8 minutes, because I had time to play through it, and then you had time to even try it for 30 seconds after it.
I had time to beat it in that 30 seconds.
You died once.
That's true. I kind of cheated.
So in that regards, it's really impressive, and I read after that Nintendo was designing it originally as a tool for their developers, and I was like, why don't they have something like this already for Mario levels?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like I said before when we were talking about the possibility of this game being a real thing, I'm not too much into the design elements, but Mario's so ingrained within us that it's kind of simple, like, okay, Mario goes like this, I want to see Mario do this, and just make it happen. And I didn't come up with the greatest level, but I was still able to get a decent level with some, ideas that I liked, and it worked out pretty well, and the thing that impressed me most is just so easy to use. It required no thought, and just what you want you can do. All the elements are there, and you can just make your own level, and it felt really intuitive.
Yeah, it's pretty elegant actually. I mean, it makes really good use of the gamepad, just from an interface standpoint. And yeah, like just being able to, it's tile based, so you just place the enemies or the objects on the tile, and it just really makes smart use of that. Like for instance, if you want enemies to pop out of a warp pipe, you just drag the enemy to the warp pipe, and then they'll continually spawn from that warp pipe. Which is something that even the original Mario Brothers didn't really do. Then they add some cool new features too, like being able to add wings onto the enemies, onto any enemy. So it created this tower, I think I talked about before, but created this tower of Hammer Brothers with like several other enemies in between. They added wings to several parts of it. So you just got this weird monstrosity hopping around, throwing a bunch of hammers, and it was crazy. Like, if you can say that from Mario's perspective, it'd be terrifying.
Scarier than the alien in Involve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's just really easy to make these levels, and I found the creation process to be fun because of that.
Yeah, and I guess the hardest thing to remember was this: just with a turtle or a Koopa, you had to shake it to change it from green to red.
Oh, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, the green ones will just keep walking forever, and the red ones will stay in place. So.
Well, yeah, they'll walk back and forth on the same ledge without falling off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that was the only enemy that had that attribute.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they'll have a few more things like that in the final game. They also had some unique platforms, including some movie ones, and you could set what direction they move in, but then they come back. They always move in a limited, frame or limited reference. But
I found it odd that the only really odd thing I came across is that I tried to make a pipe with just a piranha plant coming out of it, but because it was tile based, I couldn't center it in the pipe, so I ended up just putting two piranha plants in the same pipe.
You can do that?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
And it kind of worked out. I was like, well, there's a bit of a problem. Like, there's no room to actually step on it, so there's no point for me actually stepping on it. But still, I can have two piranha plants come out of a single pipe, and you just really whatever you want to do. If you have a crazy idea, you can really make it happen, and the game will accommodate.
I saw the guy before me. He was trying to create sort of only something high enough for small Mario to run through with. He had to run over like 5 piranha plants coming up, and then above that it was like two blocks high with Goombas that he had to squish like 10 Goombas in a row, then work his way weave back for another thing like that. Yeah, he didn't make it through.
Yeah, some of the sample levels they had 3 sample levels on display, and you can see we have gameplay video of all 3. Some of them are pretty intimidating. Like the first one I played, I think, has just like this massive field of Goombas. Just like dozens of Goombas, it seemed like all in towers. It's like, my God, what am I going to do here? Now, something interesting about the demo is that you can actually switch it. You can switch the art style to between the classic NES style, Mario 1, and to a New Super Mario Brothers Wii style, or a New Super Mario Brothers style in general.
Yeah.
But the thing is, some people I think were thrown off by it, but it doesn't actually change anything. All it changes are the visuals. The gameplay still plays the same, just with updated assets. So I guess that makes sense. It's a little bit weird, especially because the art style doesn't exactly match like New Super Mario Brothers U. I think that's what they based on exactly.
Under U.
But like the backgrounds are actually flat instead of 3D, and even Mario doesn't move nearly as fluidly. Like you can tell it's still just frames instead of it being a polygonal model.
Yeah.
So I was kind of hoping like in our when we discussed this before, Derek, with the leak, I think we're hoping that you might have been able to switch between different Mario games and different elements of different Mario games coming in and being able to do different things. And they kind of incorporate that with the art style, but it doesn't change anything.
I think there's still a possibility it could happen, mainly because they do have the switching already in place. And they said this was a limited demo. There's a lot more options that's going to be there in the finished product. So they really could still do the whole, Mario 3. It could add in Mario 3, Mario World. And if you can mix and match like you can with the wings, I think this could be really a lot of fun for people who have that creativity in mind, and even for people who just want to play those, like the sample levels and try those out. I mean, I cannot stress enough how intuitive the game felt. Honestly, I had the chance to do New Super Mario Bros. U as far as creation. I switched immediately back to Classic, just because I felt like it was a lot simpler to just visualize everything and get it all set. But that's more of a preference thing than anything else.
I think the 3D graphics are there just for people who might not be able to stand the 8-bit graphics. Now, we're used to it, but maybe kids these days, despite Minecraft, can't always... it doesn't appeal to some people, I'm sure.
Although it is interesting that they are using the classic graphics to advertise the game. Well, at least so far, with the banner we saw in the show hall. It is interesting. They are trying to appeal to both the retro and the more modern Mario fan, it seems. I
think a big reason why more Mario stuff could appear is because, despite this seemingly being the easiest game ever to make, it's not out to 2015.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Like, it seemed pretty complete. I mean, I guess they will have a lot more options, which would be nice. But, I mean, it was very functional from what we played.
Yeah.
And yeah, it seems like such a simple thing, right? It's almost, I mean, we said this before in a previous discussion, but why hasn't this happened already? Like, it's kind of shocking it took him this long to make an official Mario creator.
Yeah. But this was only above ground during the day. There's still underground. There's still water levels. There's still the mushroom levels.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's the big hope here, is because you only had the most basic of basic levels being, World 1-1 essentially. Even when you switch back to New Super Mario Bros. U style graphics, it's still just the basic style. And I think more so, probably even more so than having just elements from different Mario games, I want to be able to make like a level of this variety and take advantage of water or the poison swamp from New Super Mario Bros. U, stuff like that, and just not limit you to just the one style of level.
Yeah, there are a lot of elements from Mario 1 that they haven't brought here.
Yeah. Fireballs,
Right.
Yeah, they only had mushrooms available.
Castle levels, for instance. I think Bowser's.
Oh, if you could put multiple Bowsers.
Imagine the Hammer Brothers all over a Bowser.
Oh my god.
That'd be
flying
awesome.
Bowser.
That'd be terrifying. Yeah, there is a lot more they could do. Yeah, swimming levels, for instance. I really want to see what more they do with the final game. Because I tried, I wanted to make it underground, like at Warp Pipe, it took you somewhere else, but that wasn't in the demo. So I really am hoping that you'll be able to create different level segments, then connect them through Warp Pipes.
Yeah.
That'd be really awesome.
Bullet Bill's a level where you have to jump just completely on Bullet Bills, otherwise you die.
Right.
Don't remind me of that Yoshi's New Island level.
Do you guys think they'll have any elements from Super Mario Bros. 2 being the lost levels here in the game? Like be able to play as Luigi, for instance, or anything along those lines?
I can't imagine it being too difficult to put in.
Like playing with the physics, maybe?
Yeah, it could be. Maybe you could switch off the physics and do something more along those lines, but there really wouldn't be that much. I mean, I guess you could add poison mushrooms. They even had it that thin mushroom in this one.
Thin mushroom.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, though, right? Did it change anything?
It had 20% chance, and you were taller, and you could jump higher, more like Luigi.
Oh, was that it?
So the physics are there,
right?
Thanks to this mushroom, so that maybe you can turn that off and on.
But that was the only power up they had, because you couldn't add stars or fire flowers in the demo.
No, just a mushroom.
Right.
The limiting factor, I guess, when it comes to if we wanted to get in Mario Brothers 3 style levels, is the fact that it was very flat. You couldn't really like go up or down in the level and have like a sky section,
Right.
Which Mario 3 often had as far as secrets are concerned. So I guess there's a limiting factor, but like you said, we have until 2015 at some point that they could put that in, and
I have a feeling we won't get that though. I feel like this will be strictly a Mario NES creator, them kind of testing the waters, see how it goes, and then we'll receive if they make sequels, perhaps based on the Mario sequels.
Yeah. I'd be fine with waiting till Mario Maker 2 for Mario 3 functionality. I'd hope they spend more time on the social aspects and sharing and downloading levels in a way.
Well, that's really the big thing, is they're going to have to nail that. Like, they're going to have to make it really easy to share levels. And I guess if it takes advantage of Miiverse, which I'm sure it will, they'll hopefully have a good way of doing that. I could see it being really cool, like you being able to post your levels to Miiverse, for instance, and having people be able to access them through that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people be able to rate it, star it, and really find the good levels. And Miiverse functionality would just really make this game shine, just because you can look at your friends, levels. You can just find random levels and just see what everybody's talking about as far as these designs. And you're right, I don't think we'll see beyond Mario Brothers 1 and Lost Levels as far as elements. Maybe they'll take a few designs from those later games to add in, but probably nothing too fancy. But I can see a lot of people really wanting to play around with Mario 3 like Tom, or even Mario World, probably especially Mario World, like being able to do all this stuff there, because really I believe most of the Kaizo, I think is what it's called, Mario levels are based around Mario World.
Now, it's something I want to ask you, Andre. You said some of it reminded you of Mario Paint, like they had that dog for undo.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I didn't really play Mario Paint much, but were there more things like that in it?
Yeah, there were quite a few Mario Paint references. I mean, almost the entire interface seemed very Mario Paint inspired, with the toolbar along the top.
Yeah.
That's more of an abstract thing. But like when you completed a level, you saw a bunch of hands clapping. That was taken right from the Fly Swatter game.
Yeah.
You had the undo dog when you deleted something. You had like a rocket ship fly up. So yeah, it's very heavily inspired by Mario Paint, which is awesome. And it's something I've been saying for a long time. Why isn't Mario Paint on the Wii U?
It's so fitting.
It is. You got a freaking gamepad there. Make use of it. So I'm glad we're getting a taste of that.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that... I mean, now I'm worried, though, because they're adding Mario Paint references here. That means we probably won't get a Mario Paint.
That's all you get, folks.
Maybe you can design your own music by adding the music maker from Mario Paint.
That would be awesome. I was actually talking to Tom McShay from GameSpot about this. Ran into him in line for one of the roundtables. And he loves this game. Like, it sounded like to me like it might be one of his favorite games from E3. At least Nintendo-wise. And what he wanted to see was a music creator. I agree. I think that'd be awesome. They could have something very similar to Mario Paint. It would work beautifully with this game.
Oh, I've seen some of the compositions people have made with Mario Paint. Of course, they've adapted it to make it be able to do that sort of stuff. I think they have some sort of ROM hack they can do. But still, expand it to the point where people can do that sort of stuff, add those musical references, and it'd be great. I mean, there's some really creative people out there, and I'd love to hear some of the stuff they come up with as far as their own level themes.
Totally.
Well, at that point, then you could have a tile creator, even if you wanted to be able to create individual blocks. I mean, if you're getting that far,
I want to create like a fake warp zone. It'll take you it promises to take you like a World 8 or something.
Yeah.
And you get there, but it's like behind the flagpole or something, so you're screwed. You can't get to it.
I'll create a.
No, it leads you to a room with spikes underground.
Yeah.
I'll create one right at the very end of the game, and it's like proceed, and there'll be one of them that takes you all the way back to the beginning of the game.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be a lot of people trolling each other as far as these levels, if they're allowed.
I can only hope.
The only other thing I can think to note is that you can easily place Mario at any spot and just test from that where you put him right away. You don't have to go from the beginning of the level each time. And it also records where Mario jumped and stuff when you went through the playthrough. And will show you sort of a trail of Marios to make it easy to see where you might want to tweak the level. That's a really handy tool.
That was a really cool feature. Yeah, it looks like they have put a lot of thought into the editing process. And making it just a really simple thing to use. So hopefully they'll be able to maintain that as they add more features, but I think they will. Nintendo's usually been really good about that, creation stuff. The few times they have done it. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. I want to see a Zelda creator now. Let me create my own Link to the Past world, damn it.
No, it's the first one.
it'll
Yeah.
start out with the original, but
That's true.
that'd still be pretty cool.
That would be. You could probably do a lot with that. So.
Oh, there'd be some really evil creations. There's just a room
just
for
a-
dark nuts.
Right?
Oh my god.
You could be a dungeon creator, maybe. Just like
Yeah.
design all the rooms, link them together. I think it'd be a bit hard with the overworld, but who
Link
knows?
them together.
Oh.
All right. I think it's a good time to end this discussion now. All right. Well, thanks guys for watching. If you liked our discussion, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. You can find links to in the description below. And of course, keep an eye on GameXplain.com for tons more of stuff from E3, including more discussions, analysis videos, and other things too. All right. Thanks guys. Bye.